one and all, welcome back to more Let's Play Persona 3 FES. I am the next few trades. How y'all doing today? Pretty good? I would certainly hope so. In the last part, we got into some more shenanigans is what we did. And then we saw some more pasts. And what I have my theories about what it all means, but I guess we'll get to it when we get to it. The important thing is, we got more doors to go into, and more nonsense to uncover, and more monsters to fight, no doubt. Off screen, I did myself a little bit more training. Not a terribly, large amount. It was mostly to acquire large sums of money. And I was able to buy everybody, at least darn near everybody that I'm currently using anyway, new armor and weapon and all that good stuff. So they should be pretty good. I assume, I believe. I do not know 100%. But there you go. I hope you all enjoyed that temporary reprieve from Mitsuru in a school uniform, because she is back in it, and that is just gonna be the way that things are, because life be like that, I guess. Anyway, knock knock, it's be thee. How it thee, it's be thee. Of course of thou. And that's not even a coherent sentence, but I said it anyway. Alrighty, so, full disclosure. Fuka does say a couple things when you first come into here. I was in here for the purposes of training, and, it's really just more of the same. It's like, wow, that shadow sure is a thing that exists. What's the deal with that? Well, I suppose talking about it isn't going to solve any of our problems. You should just go on ahead and do the thing. And that's basically the long and short of it. I pretty much surmised not just that exact thing that Fuka said, but a lot of what she's been saying for a little while now. Which is unfortunate, but there you go. That's also all being done, gone, done, and said. I have, in fact, done battle with thine enemies rather frequently. So, I know that there's everything in here I can pretty much handle. And if possible, I would actually like to make a madman's dash all the way yonder to the, the boss enemy that I gotta fight. Because that seems like a better use of my time than mulling about with the various enemies here. Oh, dear. All right, well, that fellow over there seems to have been somewhat offended by my statements. However, what's bad news for him is that running away from him in fear ultimately led me down further down the path. So he helped me in ways he did not intend, and that is unfortunate for him. All right, more stuff. I'll never turn down free stuff, even if it's stuff that I don't know if I'm ever even gonna end up using for anything, but I'm gonna do it. Oh, I guess I should also say that I sort of dabbled around with personas and whatnot. I got Mott back, so that's pretty cool. But, really, I couldn't make anything that was outstandingly better than the ones that I've got. And I pretty much have all of my type coverage available, except for, I guess I don't have anything for light anymore, which is kind of unfortunate, but really not that big a deal. I also got her, which is something. Also just realized that's uncensored. My goodness. My goodness. All right, let's just move on with ourselves and jump down a hole again. How about that? So, until I can actually, create some personas that have, outstandingly better abilities, I guess I'm just gonna be sticking with what I've got. Because really, I'm just kind of focusing on, exploiting weaknesses primarily. And it's been working out pretty well. Also, wow, the game is being bizarrely kind to me today. This next boss we're going up against is most definitely going to be something of a bit of an issue. All right. And obviously, I did not go down there to train further. That was obviously non-negotiable. I was never going to do that. You guys get to see all the boss fights, no matter how badly they end up going for me, potentially. You sense a strong presence? Well, that's incredibly uncharacteristic of you. All right, who be down here? 3 separate fellows? Oh, that's 3 separate fellows. We must get through. Please hang in there. All right. Well, that table's got fire, so that implies that maybe that one will be weak to ice. Hard to say. But that being said, is anybody weak to fire? Yes. Yes, it is. Also, one of them outright tried to dodge fire. Why would you have dodge fire unless you were potentially weakened by fire? So that's something to take note of. And you've got dodge ice. Aha! It all comes together. Alright, well, now that's just more than slightly annoying, and I'd prefer if you didn't do that. Okay, alright. We're going to continue to attempt to make these enemies not able to hit me. And sometimes it works out. Not all the time, but, every so often. And, I guess try to stab the baddie over there. Right, that did barely any damage whatsoever. Slightly unfortunate, that. Alright, so, if at all possible, it'd be kind of great, actually, if we could maybe knock you down, because you got that mind charge thing going. Yeah, that is every little bit as helpful as I would have hoped. Now that thing can't hit me. I didn't really think that was gonna work. I kind of hoped, but, you know, you really don't want to assume such things. Man, I gotta wonder, by increased, you know, difficulty that this game was telling me about when I started this mode in the first place, did they just mean instead, like, we made sure that all the enemies, 9 times out of 10, can dodge all your attacks? I'm gonna be honest, it really feels like that's exactly what they did. It's like, literally, we can't boost the stats of the enemies, so instead we just made it almost impossible to ever hit them with what they're weak to. Ah, cool beans. Glad that this was a thing. All right, well, you got her back on her feet, so. All right, well, that's a problem. Hey, Chihuahua. All right, well, maybe, possibly knock you back down. All right. All right, so the option is available to me, but will it be a worthwhile one? Surprisingly, yes. All right, then, now just whammo! That actually does some pretty substantial damage, all things considered. All right, so never do that again. Firmly noted. Never hit the table with an axe, which kind of feels like instinctively like the one thing you should most certainly do if you're fighting an evil table is use an axe. But far be it for me to start asking questions. All right, so given a chance to stand back up, which is swell. But then this happens, and yeah, see? So the whole thing kind of just falls apart right there. All right, then. So the enemy that was most assuredly the weakest at the time is now back to pretty much almost where it started at the beginning. That's really unfortunate. All right, could I knock down at least one? Thank you. All right. At least I got to knock down an enemy. And could I maybe hit you with an axe? The answer was no, and you're an idiot for thinking otherwise. All right, how about arrows? How do you feel about arrows? All right, arrows hurt. Arrows hurt you real bad. Ooh, that did a lot of damage. I wish you did not do that. Oh, I wish you really didn't do that. All right, that's problematic. All right, okay. Let's maybe knock you down. Good. And then, man, now that I know that you can make enemies come back up, it'd be really great if you fell down. Thank you. And we know that strike attacks are a terrible idea against the table, so I'm not gonna use that on them. And instead, I guess we'll use this. There we go. Now the attacks will hurt you a little bit more. That's a good idea. And you should attempt to knock down the enemy. Let's not go for the all-out attack, though. It's tempting, but I'm gonna have to say no. Yeah, no, definitely gonna have to go with nah on that, which is unfortunate. Okay, then, I suppose, we'll use a couple of these to make the Metarama actually maybe heal everybody back up. That would be a good idea. There we go. All right. So that was a good use of time, most assuredly. And that enemy has not gotten back up, so I guess, well, he got lower defense, so there we go. Says a lot that the defense got lowered and it still only did 80. All right. I know not why the table cries. I feel as if it is unnecessary and it should not be doing that. And now watch as I miss. I didn't miss. Instead, I did big time damage. All right then. Okay, cool beans.
That's the way.
This is all going a little too well, if I'm being entirely honest with you. All right then, I feel like maybe weaken the table. I still feel like we haven't made up for the fact that I healed him so much before. Of course, that would require this attack hitting. And we all know the odds of that were never that high to begin with. But we anticipated this. We were not happy about it, but we were prepared for it. Unnecessary, perhaps, but I feel like I want to do it anyway. I like the idea of topping everybody off like that. There you go. And I don't even know what to call that thing. It's like a weird jester, but it's cape or giant arms. Well, not even arms, it's just the hands. It's weird. It's weird and I don't like it. All right, how about you fall down to go boom? You do! Thank you, Monsieur Table. Monsieur Table Face.
The enemy.
Yes, the enemy is here.
The enemy.
Yeah, you said that already. I don't know why you said it again. Quite frankly, it's a little concerning, Fuka. Hey! All right, that is good. I'm not expecting to re-knock this one down, though. So the fact that I did is an extraordinarily pleasant surprise, and not a whole lot else. Alrighty. Know that I can't use that. I guess I got really no real other option. I'll just lower the defense of the puddle. I mean, it's as good an idea as anything else I've been doing, I suppose. All right. Now we use the ice magics and maybe fall down, go boom. Fall down, go boom. All right, nope. We ain't doing that.
You don't want to?
Nope, gonna have to say nah. It's appreciated, but nah. In fact, actually, why not? I know that you can't hit the table with an axe, but maybe we can hit the table with something else. That would be nifty, I feel. All right, just kind of wait around and just kind of hope that somebody eventually gets back up. There you go. All right, then. Not a lot of other options, so... All right. Cool. There's a relatively decent chance of that not going to end well for me. Much good, no. All right, well, so far the game has been surprisingly kind whenever it starts to pull away the football. All right, there we go. That's kind of what you anticipate. On one hand, I would like to hit this thing with an axe and see what happens, but on the other hand, maybe I can confuse the puddle to try and maybe waste its turn only getting one of them back up. Then again, at the same time, I guess that's an option. I guess hit the puddle with an axe and see what happens. All right, that worked out very well for me. I'm not gonna lie. All right, and how about arrows? That worked too? Cool.
The enemy's returned to normal.
Yep, and then Mitsuru spends her entire turn getting back up on her feet. All right, well, okay, I was gonna say that wasn't so bad, but you literally took just about all of my magics, like literally almost all of it. I have like next to none left. All right, so I guess it's incredibly lucky that I just so happen to be near the point where I'm able to defeat so many of the enemies. If you had done that earlier in the fight, I would have hated you with a very large passion. All right, now I can actually just switch over to a different persona entirely. There we go. What you gonna do about this, dude?
I need your help.
I'm gonna tell you right here and now, very little. Yeah, you probably would want to dodge. I'm gonna be honest. Every single time you don't dodge, you're gonna get dogpiled with an all-out attack. So yeah, it was definitely in his best interest to dodge all of the ice attacks, and I suppose no matter what, you can only do it so many times.
Keep your filthy hands off my sister.
All right, that one went pretty well. And leveling up, huzzah! Everybody gets stronger, so dang strong. Also, definitely an item that I can probably sell too. That's handy. As always, we make a sharp turn and get ourselves some treasure. Thank you, some bombs of life, and some hanabakulikulikulisis. No, I do not, in fact, ever wish to learn how to properly pronounce what that item is. It is unnecessary. It is merely the insta-kill begone. It prevents me from insta-killing. Or being instant-killed, whatever. There, now I got all my SP back. We can just go on right ahead. Now, considering how strong we were, I feel as if we could probably handle the next one no big deal. But at the same time, it feels weird to just entirely ignore enemies. The atmosphere is different here. I wonder why. Probably because it looks like the entire place is made out of marble. Still far away, but there's a presence below, so you should probably, you know, work on that. We guess there really isn't any necessary point in getting into any fights. So I can just go around and grab stuff and try to sneak by all thine enemies. Like, especially that guy. Yeah, go over to the side corner there. Yeah, there you go. Oh, boy. Oh, dear. Oh, boy, this is a real sticky wicket. Except it's not. I was successful. And all those who doubted me, especially myself, should absolutely feel a fool. And I do, because I always feel a fool. Alright, and that's a dead end. Ain't bothering with none of that. Besides, if I'm strong enough to be able to defeat the enemies, then the only purpose of fighting the enemies would be to get more experience and what have you. But that's unnecessary. I just completely juked those fools. That is one of the more impressive maneuvers I've been able to pull off when it comes to getting out of conflict. Not bad, me. Of course, pride cometh before the fall. I should not dare compliment myself in any regard, lest something go horribly wrong to compensate it, as some sort of weird, horrifying, cosmic, karmic balance is always swinging around in my life like some kind of demonic pendulum. Brrrah. Okay, so far, so fantastic. Yep, and a big pile of money too. Yeah, absolutely love to see it. And considering the fact that the boss fights end up taking so much dang time anyway, I mean, it's not like you're missing out on fights or anything. Getting closer with a strong presence, it's not too far. That's pretty handy dandy. All right, well, not gonna bother with none of that. And instead, I'm gonna run around, whoop! I am confused as to what exactly makes it so the enemy can, like, engage in a party member and force them to fight, which forced me to go back and help them. Because sometimes, like, the enemies are clearly all just standing right there, and sometimes even through the enemies, and yet a fight doesn't engage with them. So I'm unsure as to how that all works. We may never know, except I'm sure there are many people who know. Anybody who knows anything about coding, I'm sure there are people who have dived into the coding of this game to figure out how everything works. That's just something a lot of people do. Would make sense. And, man, finding these holes has been suspiciously easy. And we're getting an extra load screen, so huzzah! Brah, 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 brah.
That figure again.
Right, you read those yourself. Fair enough.
Could it have some sort of purpose here?
Yeah, probably, otherwise I doubt we would be seeing it constantly. I'm glad we spent the time to hear that one out. Like, shock, awe, and surprise to all involved. The thing that keeps happening happened again. Most suspicious indeed. All right, and you would be the next one. There we go. All right, then. Yeah, let's just go for it. I saved. We got all of our stuffs. I'm probably strong enough to be able to deal with it. Let's just go. There's literally no reason not to. Oh, no. That could be a very serious problem.
Confirmed. If that presence is summoning them, does that mean it's an enemy?
Interesting that it would take you this long to consider that possibility.
But it seems like... It doesn't seem like it's going to attack us this time either. Focus on the shadow.
That was always the plan.
Get ready.
All right, I do not like it when the enemies... On one hand, it's nice when it's just a single enemy, but this means it's strong enough to make up for the fact that there's only one of them. All right, so, the odds of this thing having a weakness at all seem somewhat low. So, that's a bit of an issue.
I need your help.
But we'll toss everything out there and hope for the best. All right, it eats fire. And it just straight up killed Yukari in one hit. That's mildly concerning, to be putting it lightly. All right, well, assuming it doesn't do that every single time, its turn is around, that might not be too bad. All right, it eats that too. Should I assume that maybe it just eats attacks like that? Okay, that did like next to no damage whatsoever. That's a bit of an issue. And we just used wind.
Hang in there.
All right, so pierce attacks does barely anything. And fire and wind do absolutely nothing. I don't suppose we're lucky enough for it to just miraculously be weak to ice for no reason. It seems unlikely. All right. Well, it didn't consume it. It merely took no damage from it. All right. The axe seems to be effective. It's nice that physical attacks work, but it's a bit of an issue in any other regard. All right. Strong against most things. Weak against strike. See, that's a bit of an issue, seeing as how it uses a strike attack. So, I have probably opened Pandora's box by having that happen. Alright, so that's immediately a bit of an issue. Assuming it's going to use something akin to maybe Ashika Arts or something, maybe it would be in my best interest to use something like this. Its next attack is going to be super powerful, and we already know it has the potential to just straight up murder Yukari in a single go, so... And physical attacks seem to just be effective. And, of course, definite interest would be... Is it possible that I have anything that might be resistant to it? No, just weak. Alright, that's fair, that's fair. Then I guess I'll just go with the best option I have, which I don't even know what it would be. Which one of you has the highest strength stat? It's looking like it's you, actually. And no obvious weaknesses. We accept them. And we shoot them. Vicious strike. Oh, that was an extraordinarily worthwhile use of an item if there ever was one. My goodness. All right. It's possible we're likely going to end up getting somebody knocked out again, but the good news is if it ever uses power charge again, well, I can do that at least 2 more times before I completely run out of attack mirrors. Mind charge, you say? Well, that's a bit of an issue because we know it eats wind and it uses wind break, which implies to me that it's probably going to use a wind spell. And if it's a wind spell that hits everybody and we reflect it, it's just going to get all of its HP back, which means it's probably a smarter idea to just hope for the best that somebody survives and we revive everybody that we can hopefully revive. Of course, the best case scenario would be somebody miraculously landing a critical hit. Not so luck. No such luck. No such luck. A single Goraudine? Alright, well. We may not have had the absolute best case scenario, but we were given a relatively decent one. It just completely wasted its attack. And the Ashika Arts have returned. Wow, okay, so I guess almost just flat out completely died. Wow. All right, so I'd actually rather, it's not great. I'm not too happy about that, but seems like the best course of action. She desperately needs to not die, and we can just toss you one of those. Yeah, we're gonna go with the healing everybody option. Seems like a pretty good idea. You don't have any of those, so just obviously keep smacking them around with an axe if you feel like it. And right, that's correct. I in fact do not have a persona that uses healing spells right now. And the only one that I have is weak to strike, making that a bad call. All right then. Well, this is why we have so many revival items. It's using life drain. Okay. I mean, that's annoying, but not that bad, really.
Hang in there.
It's pretty simple to be able to make it lose all of that again. As everybody gets brought back to top shape. Okay, there we go. All right, bonus hits, bonus hits. Oh, actually, that entire time, decrease all foes. All right. It's a bit much, but defense down seems like a really good idea. Marugudine. All right, but the good news is literally nobody's weak to that, so that's not too big of a deal.
Hang in there.
We'll just keep on. Keep it on. Although, I was completely correct about it using wind magic. We learned that a little while ago, but I feel like it's important to note. Glad I did not go for the magic shield. That might have even been what it was planning on us. I don't know how smart the enemy AI is. But maybe it thought like, oh, well, it used an attack mirror that one time, so maybe the player will end up using a magic mirror and I can make him look like an idiot. But I have decided to not be a fool today. Maraconda. All right, well, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. That's not good. But I'm relatively certain that I have the ability to, like, stat bonuses on all foes. I, in fact, do not have something that nullifies stat penalties, unless I happen to have maybe something in here that can do that. If not, then, ooh, are we in for a bit of a bad time? Yep, no, I just flat out do not. All right, well, I am not feeling too good about our chances right now, if I'm being real with y'all. Fair enough. How about maybe we can just cancel that out? Ooh, okay, all right, that's good, I mean, it's not good, but it makes sense. All right, so, first things first, heal everybody up. I mean, it's a really good strategy. Weaken the defense of all the enemies, then power yourself up so you do double damage, and then use an all super ultra mega attack. Man, if he uses Ashka Arts, then he would be multi hitting himself, and maybe even kill himself outright. That would be nice. But let's merely prepare ourselves for the possibility he could throw a curveball at any conceivable moment. It's not impossible. What you gonna do now that you feel like you're in a good spot? Defense reverted, that's unfortunate. Vicious strike, all right. Oh, okay. I was under the impression that it survived, what with it not dying so instantaneously, but okay. I feel like that's probably one of my more impressive showings. It wasn't the most intensive or difficult of battles, but I feel like I really strategized around that whole thing and it worked out pretty good. I feel rather swell. Okay, then. And, to the victor go the spoils. Thank you. Ooh, is it new attack mirrors? That'd be nice. It's not. All right, well, if we ever run into an enemy that exclusively uses magic attacks and is, basically just all-consuming of physical attacks, I suppose the magic will be a good call. I'm not going to say that there's not going to be a good use for them. I'm absolutely sure that there will be. I was just kind of hoping to get back some of the stuff that I ended up losing, you know? That was really my general hope. That was what I was going for. I suppose time will tell. All right, once more into the breach. So, do you think there's gonna be another strong presence, or are we gonna, let's see, that black shadow. Meta says she doesn't know what it is, but is that true? I know we have to take her word for it, but I'm still uneasy. Oh, sorry, I lost track of that black shadow. Maybe you can find clues ahead. Please track it down. Yeah, all right, I'll give it a try. I'll give it the old college try. I'll give it a go. I don't promise you anything. I promise you nothing. And now we're gonna run into a dead end, except we did it miraculously. What? That's 99% of the time. I'm always getting chased by things into a dark corner. I almost never end up just inexplicably running in the exact perfect location to be able to escape my enemies like that. It's just unlikely as all get out. But it somehow did. You absolutely love to see it. All right, well then, I'm just going to continue my scouring thing. Oh, there we go, jumping down. Now, despite that enemy being rather strong, we proved that some intelligence can also be a very good ally when it comes to things like this. So, if there is another strong presence, then we might be okay. Although, if there isn't, and we're moving on to the next, door of memories past and what have you, then obviously in the next stretch of doors that we go through, I'm not going to ignore the enemies. I will fight them. Were you able to figure out where that black figure went? Sorry, but I haven't been able to sense its location either. Well, if I had to make some kind of random guess that maybe might be completely totally off base, I'm going to assume it went to the bottom of this structure, because that's literally all it ever does. Oh, but I have new information on the layout ahead. The floor's end not too far from where you are. Proceed with caution. Well, alright. If and that's what's I gots to goes and does, then that's what I'm gonna goes, does, and does. Oh, Lord! Aye. That sure is a thing that's happening. You sure are using a lot of various things. Yes, yes, I see. You know what would really calm us down? Fleeing from the scene. All right, so that did not go the way that I would have really hoped. All right, bit of an issue. Yep. You do, in fact, have some really, really stanky breath. That is unquestionably a thing. And you are lowering all of our stats, but we can escape this time. So really, who's the real fool? Probably the group of enemies that wasted all their SP on a bunch of stuff on enemies that ended up escaping from them in the first place. Sucks to be those guys. All right. Plus, I mean, once we get rid of whatever this place is, the shadows will be dead through association. So it's a good call. All right, so can I maybe... Oh, Lord, no, I can't. All right, well, that was just pretty much the textbook definition of playing with fire. So, understandable. Have a nice day. And up. All right, okay. Good choice, stupid hand man. Slightly less good, bad choice, stupid hand man. All right, so you're using a lot of ice skills, so me brain be thinking that maybe this will be the collect choice. The collect choice, yeah, that's right. Interesting. It is in fact not. Probably should have analyzed.
I'll scan the target.
Any chance it's wind for some random reason? That'd be handy. It is not. The answer was nay. Ow! You hit me with a chair. Technically, anything you're sitting on can be considered a chair. Anyway, we basically established that wind isn't something you're gonna block or reflect. So, I mean the thing in a chair doesn't count. Oh, so the whole thing this entire time has been using Mudo. Use Mudo. That makes sense. But I don't know if you know this, but that's phenomenally unreliable. I mean, I will, just as, you know, on the off chance that maybe the random dice roll will work out in our favor. Oh no, that's only on one foe. That's an issue. All right, well, you're the biggest issue available, so. Oh. All right, well, I guess that's my fault for making the assumption that you would also be weak to it. I kind of figured what with the enemies surrounding you and the fact that you were using light spells that it kind of fit, but that's on me. Joke's on you. That was never gonna work. All right, I would have not called that. Quick check, I didn't actually bother to see. Okay, I can hit it with anything that isn't pierce. So we should, in theory, be able to make this work. Okay, maybe. Ow! Why you do this? Why you do this thing? Yeah, big nerd. All right, so yeah, that I guess for whatever reason that just counts as that. Oh, very well. Then again, I guess I'm not technically shooting a grenade. It's a railgun, but still. All right, what element do you not bounce off? Ice, that works. Then we'll go with ice. That's not the right thing, stupid. You were already kind of on the right thing. All right, then. That works for me. All right, you don't seem to have too terribly large amounts of HP, and strike attacks are fine. Just making sure. Very much did not want you to absorb it, just because for some reason I misread something. Yeah, she does that sometimes. It's beginning to be a serious problem. Except I think that might be the first time she's been knocked unconscious, so really that joke doesn't really work for her. So, eh. And big eyes. And then we'll just hit it with an axe. Maybe it'll die. And it did! Alright, then there we go. So that would have gone, obviously, a whole lot better if I had, you know, a persona that used some light magic. But when you get right down to it, it's all too possible that, you know, no matter how many times I use the multi-hitting light magic, that it just wouldn't work at all.
Yes! My skill level has increased!
And we're all very proud of you. Could you please heal us? We're all about to die. Much appreciation. Now, the thing I wanted was something I'm not even gonna use. All right, good to see. That was incredibly worth it. Except it was a lie. It was not worth it. All right, well, that's the way that an enemy be. Well, unfortunate news for me. Every direction is where an enemy will be. Miraculously, that enemy stopped trying to chase me at the perfect moment.
There are 3. Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
All right, you go ahead and do that. As I'm pretty sure there are no ominous presences. I can mull about back here. All right, so fire was the absolute most incorrect choice. Sometimes you manage to find the weaknesses on the first try. Sometimes you just don't. Oh, all right.
It has multiple weaknesses.
I see. All right. Well, the good news is that's incredibly easy to work with.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target. I won't lose.
The question is, will the same apply to Mr. Ghosty Man?
Keep it up.
Lest I arrowed all of y'all fools.
Give up. The enemy's return to normal. It seems.
Yeah, I figured it was a little too good to be true in that particular instance. Unfortunate. All right, then, well, I'm just gonna knock you back down. It's all the same to you. Wow. Okay. Now, if you wanted to just miraculously get another crit, I didn't think you would. I didn't think that was gonna be the case, but, you know, sometimes you dare to dream. Aha! Didn't even need to use the thing. And it was Pierce. No. It's Strike that they're not weak to. So this works. Unless it misses, in which case, I mean, yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, we'll just get rid of you straight out the gate. And then, there you go. So really, when you look at it from that perspective, that was the best possible way it could have gone. Because then we got the all-out attack. Save time. Save money. Everybody wins. And all of the cards. Spin a Rooney. But I still want experience. Always, now, and forever. Good on you. Well, something is about to happen to Zyonga. Well, considering I kind of need you for Zyonga and healing, I'd prefer if you didn't lose the only electric spell that I have available to me. So I'm gonna say nah. Appreciated, but gonna say nah.
My skill level has increased.
That is good. I haven't actually bothered to check any of you gals in a bit of a while. How you doing when it comes to getting new powers? You can get Dia Ion. That's pretty close. Get Mind Charge at some point. I'm pretty sure you had that in the last boss fight, and I just wasn't really paying much attention. But also, that magic wasn't really helping us too much in that particular fight, so it didn't really matter in the end. What about you? Gonna get Windbreak? Well, that's an unfortunate thing for a lady to learn. I mean, it's completely biologically normal and everything, but it's just unfortunate in general. I apologize. And yes, that was technically just at the end of the day a very long-winded fart joke. Waiting on though. Anyway, she's about to get Garudine. That's pretty handy. All right, I'm just gonna run over here if it's all the same to y'all. Oh, all right, well, it was the same to y'all, and it turns out that then it's not exactly what you want to do. All right, well, how about make a big old churn?
The enemy caught up with me.
See, what is the deciding factor of that? What determines whether that's a thing that happens?
There are 2 enemies.
Well, that was more just kind of annoying than anything else.
Scan the target.
All right. I'm gonna hit them with the winds. Maybe one of them is weak to it miraculously. It'd be nice. Nope.
Beat it.
Ah, delightful. Infuriate. All right, well, Menace is gonna go on an absolute tear in about a few minutes. So, considering she kind of hits the hardest anyway, that really might not have been as good an idea as you thought.
Against electricity.
Yeah, I probably could have guessed that one. Unless you're not.
I'll scan the target.
Either way, I think I actually have an item for this. Yeah, I actually do, so.
Be careful.
Yeah, all right then, there you go. Now that she's enraged, does that keep her from being able to do the all-out attack? No. I really feel like it wouldn't. So I'm glad that it didn't. But still.
You're unworthy of it.
Alright. No need to get a big head now. Alright. Cool. Took a little while for that one. Had to make a big song and dance number out of it. And that's not the way we want to go. That's the way I came from. What I want to do is ignore that guy entirely. Ignore you too. I'm not saying, you know, ignore the band, although you most certainly can. I don't know, like, anything about them, so I can't really say I can say it one way or the other. I just know that they are a band that exists, and I think that they're rather unpopular. But that's just my interpretation. I could be wrong. Anyway, kind of a shame that I had to pass up on a golden chest there, but I've made my choice! And at the very least, that's not gonna be a problem. Maybe set fire to the birds. Please just don't be weak to electric again, because then I would feel embarrassed. And ideally, I'd like to not be embarrassed. How do you feel about ice? Not great. Not cool, they're weak to electric. Exactly what I was hoping they wouldn't be. Okay.
2 more enemies to go.
If I'm being honest with you, that wasn't exactly the best use of your 2 only turns. Yeah. The good news is, it seems like, ultimately, you know, as long as I'm not getting ambushed, I am still pretty much as strong as I need to be to continue on. So, you know, running past all of those many enemies ended up not being a problem. Looks like a dead end, but, you know, that's like the 40th time that you've said that, and it hasn't been. A dead end would imply that we can't make progress. Anyway. Yukari? No. Tiny Mitsuru! She got little hair drills.
So this is the interior of Tartarus.
Okay. I've been trying to not bring this up, but, has anybody noticed that literally all of the incidental characters, maybe not all of them, but almost all of the incidental characters that we've seen, their voices are very clearly party member actors? Like, not too long ago, we definitely heard Yuri Lowenthal talking as somebody completely unnamed, and that was obviously Shinji's voice actor. And before that, I don't remember, but this is like the 3rd time it's happened. So when they were implementing the answer into this repackaged Persona 3, and did they only have those particular actors available at the time? I'm okay with it. They're all very freakishly talented. It's just beginning to be noticeable. Anyway, moving on. So, first time in Tartarus. That's neat.
It's only the 2nd time anyone's been here without special equipment.
Normal weaponry is useless against shadows. Any equipment we brought would be for your peace of mind.
Okay, well, that's obviously incorrect. We've been using very conventional weaponry to fight the shadows, and it's worked phenomenally well. I suppose maybe this is sort of JoJo rules? Maybe you need a persona in order to harm shadows, and it's just the fact that we have persona that somehow make our conventional weapons work? Is that how that works? I could believe it.
Everyone here has had their potential developed in our labs. That should suffice to protect us. And even if you're devoured, that in itself would be valuable data for us.
Thank you, what is clearly just freaking Hojo. Wow, and we're all cool with just letting this guy be employed, huh?
Is anyone left in the Ergo division who isn't a psycho?
Evidently not. But look at Tiny Mitsuru. She's so tiny.
In any case, sir, are you all right with this? I mean, bringing your daughter?
If I'm correct, and this is all about first Persona awakenings, this could get pretty heavy.
I don't mind at all. I myself requested to come along.
Of course you've always just talked like that. My goodness.
You heard her.
I see. I'm sorry to have spoken out of turn, sir.
The nerve of me, thinking that this might be an inappropriate place for a small child. What was I thinking?
Hey, what's wrong?
Looks like heart palpitations. Or something even worse. Oh, okay. Huh.
What the?
Can't say that I've seen that a lot. I mean, I have seen that happen. It's just not very common.
Looks like it's back to the drawing board for the artificial development of potential.
Oh. Yeah, that we kinda knew sort of about that with Strega. Huh.
Sir, miss, step aside.
We have guns. Maybe they actually shoot real bullets.
That's a shadow.
Very astute. I'm glad to see she was just as smart then as she is now.
You little...
Okay, so I guess personas are necessary.
Sir, miss! Ugh.
Father!
Well, that was lucky.
Oh, did you see that? Such power! It's a persona. I was right. Persona users do exist. Mitsuru.
Father, I'm glad you're safe.
That was wonderful! Lady Mitsuru, a beautiful expression of your natural potential.
Could you maybe stop with the talking that you're doing?
At last, our future seems bright. Why are you so happy about it?
Thank God somebody is calling this out.
No. Mitsuru can never escape from the destiny of atonement. She'll spend her life bound to our cursed legacy when she should be finding her own way. What's so bright about that?
Don't worry, Father. I chose this for myself. I'll protect you, Father.
Mitsuru.
More than slightly curious to see how people react to that one.
Was that Senpai's?
More than most likely. I don't see why you would have any doubts.
Oh, yes.
Senpai? What's the matter?
I mean, it really hasn't been that long since her dad died, and she literally just got to not only relive the traumatic experience that was facilitated to create her persona, but also, you know, just straight up saw him again. I imagine the wounds haven't exactly healed to the point where she could just kind of see that and shrug it off like it was no big deal. I mean, I get it. She's kind of always been sort of, you know, an emotionally reserved person, kind of never really putting their heart on their sleeves at any moment in time, but everybody's got a damn limit. I don't really know why you're even asking that question, Fuka. I mean, what the hell?
Well, I'm sorry. It's just that...
Like, I am absolutely socially inept, and I feel like that was pretty clear.
Seeing Father before my eyes, as if he were still alive, was...
Ding, ding, got it right.
Senpai.
But wasn't Mitsuru Senpai really cute when she was little?
I did like her little hair drills.
Excuse me, Iori. Are you saying that's no longer the case?
It's a different kind of adorable.
No, that's not what I... Come on, you got it all wrong.
She said it with a joking tone. I'm pretty sure it's okay. You're not in trouble.
It's exactly as I thought.
Oh, are you actually going to be a bit more open about this now? Hypothesize, maybe? Gimme?
Of the past events we've seen up to this point, the first one seemed to be about getting ready for battle, but the others... how should I put it? It feels like there's some aspect they all have in common. Don't you all think so?
My theory of first awakenings
Yes,
makes sense.
But for now, we don't know what that might be.
Okay, but you could at least hypothesize. Come on.
This is the 5th door. We should be getting closer to the source we're looking for.
I counted all of the various doors that were around before. There aren't that many left. I think we're already more than halfway through.
Oh, I just remembered. There's something I have to tell you all.
But you leave something in the
Remember
oven?
the machinery and documents Mitsuru-senpai found?
No. She said she was gonna go look for stuff, but, like, never told us that she did. Just that she was done searching. I guess by machinery, you mean the stuff you grafted onto Aegis, but again, I find that all rather strange because you said, oh, we found it downstairs, you know, before we, you know, formally introduced the area of doors. So, like, was it just a big empty desert with a bunch of doors and a pile of machinery that you scooped entirely up and grafted onto Aegis? I'm confused by that. Anyway, long story short, the answer is no, Fuka, I don't.
I looked into them, and it turns out they were things that the chairman hid when he was still alive. Most of them were from the accident 10 years ago, so he must have hid them so they wouldn't be destroyed.
In an alternate plane of reality?
Some of the notes I found seem to be talking about the abyss of time.
Okay, well, at least that's good.
Is that true?
I imagine she's not lying if I had to guess.
We may be close to discovering what this place really is.
I was under the impression it was the abyss of time, as in, you know, a rip in space-time. You know, I thought that was obvious.
We're closing in on it.
I mean, I guess the ultimate cause is what you're talking about. That would make sense.
We should hurry forward.
Indeed. You decide to return to the lounge, as you have been known to do on many occasions. There are 7 doors in the desert. That means we have to get through 7 areas. I thought we still had a long way to go, but there are only 2 left now. Yeah, we're nearly there. Now's the time to step it up, guys. Let's hurry forward. All right. Good news. We're getting there. Bad news. I feel like I've pretty much locked in on who I'm going to kind of be using for the rest of this thing. It's kind of late to try and catch anybody else up at this point. We're slowly figuring out the reason why we're seeing these past events. We've gone through more than half the doors in the Desert of Doors, though we still don't know anything about that dark figure other than, obviously, what it's sort of supposed to be. Anyway, there's not much further to go. Let's keep it up. Alrighty, just gonna keep on spinneroonian. Looking back on it, I didn't think much of Mitsuru-senpai at the beginning of last year. Yeah, I recall. You actually you seem to have a bit of a disdain for her, honestly. I didn't know anything about her, and I thought I was the only one that was suffering. Sometimes I wish I could find a time machine so I could go back to my younger self and slap her silly. Oh, it's clear now that the past can't be changed. Yeah, well, we'll see. I feel like that's part of what ultimately this is all going to end up being about. In the end, I wasn't able to protect Father as I promised. And it's more than that. I feel as though I let one of my very reasons for living slip away. But I do still have something precious to live for. I will hold true to my vow this time, no matter what. Don't forget that my persona is weak against fire. I can swear all the vows I want, but if the enemy attacks my weak point, then I'll fall without accomplishing my goals. Ignoring that. Do you remember what Meta said at the beginning? That she was gonna kill everybody? The claim that the Abyss of Time was originally small and disconnected from the outside world. Well, what we're seeing in these papers seems to confirm that. I think that girl really does want only to save you, Aegis. Well, that's cool, I guess. What about you, Karamaru? Pant. He seems excited, so that's pretty cool. It hurt for Shinji and me not to know our parents' faces, but at the same time, it made things easier. Growing up in a high-class family like Mitsuru has its disadvantages. She's been dealing with the shadows since she was little. Gotta admire her guts. Why are you so impressed by her internal organs? That is weird, Akihiko. You're a weird man. And that was a joke, I'm not stupid. I know what he meant. It seems more people fell victim to the shadows than I had imagined. Some wind up in accidents, and some have their hearts eaten. What exactly are these shadows? Where do they come from? Well, they're the enemy, for one thing. Well, that's true, but what I mean is, I think we should try to learn more about them instead of attacking on sight. In retrospect, man, Persona 4 really kind of opened the door on a lot of that. Just through the introduction of Teddy alone, we kind of got a better idea of what exactly shadows were and how they're basically just, you know, kind of subconscious elements of humanity. And then Persona 5 basically just kind of put a, you know, a surgical knife to the whole thing. It's like, this is a very close analyzation of humanity, and that's what these are. That sort of thing. If we're the reason this is all happening, does this mean we all have a door to our pasts? We've seen one for Ken, Akihiko, me, and Koromaru, and Koromaru barely counts, and Mitsuru. So who's left? The 3 ladies? Well, I guess we'll find out soon. The 3 ladies? Mitsuru, Junpei, Ken, Koromaru. Okay, well, I assume you meant Yukari and Fuka. I get that, but were you referring to Metis? Did you think she would even have one? What led you to believe this? What are you plotting, Junpei? What do you know that I don't? Answer me! Don't make me Naruto run into you until you fall down the stairs. I'll do it. I'm crazy.
You're the only one world, one love, but the battle goes on, shadows of mass destruction. Ooh, yeah. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Baby, baby. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Ooh, yes. Do-do-do-do.